Yes, ma'am. Please proceed, ma'am. Thank you,
Yes.
ma'am.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am. We welcome you to the session once again, ma'am. It's
Yes,
good
ma'am.
to see you again for the session, and we are looking forward for it, ma'am. Now I request Ms. Akshita J, full-time research scholar from Sri Shankarlal Sundarbai Sashun Jain College, to deliver the welcome address and introduce the resource person of the day. Akshita, over to you.
A very good evening to one and all present here. A special good evening to you, sir and ma'am. It takes immense pleasure in welcoming you all for this wonderful workshop conducted by the University of Madras and Madras University Commerce Alumni Association in collaboration with Sri Shankarlal Sundarbai Shashun Jain College for Women. I feel honored in welcoming Dr. R. Shanti, Professor and Head Department of Commerce, University of Madras, Dr. V. Kalaivani, former Principal, Chelamal Women's College. I would also like to extend a warm welcome to our
Akshita.
Sorry for the interruption, sir and ma'am. I would also like to extend a warm welcome to Dr. Padmavati ma'am, Principal Sri Shankarlal Sundarbai Shashun Jain College, Dr. S. Rukmani ma'am, Vice Principal Sri Shankarlal Sundarbai Shashun Jain College for Women. We also welcome Dr. C.K. Deepa ma'am, Associate Professor and Head, PG and Research Department of Commerce, Sri Shankarlal Sundarbai Shashun Jain College, and Ms. Preeti Rose, Full-Time Research Scholar, University of Madras. Now, let me introduce our esteemed resource persons. Dr. Haridayal Sharma is an associate professor in the PG and Research Department of Commerce at Dwarka Das Govardhan Das Vaishnav College, Chennai. He holds a doctorate in commerce from Alagappa University and a strong academic background, including MCOM, MPhil, MFM, MBA, and SET qualifications. With over 24 years of experience, Sir has contributed significantly to green marketing, consumer behavior, and digital commerce. He has guided MPhil and PhD scholars and has undertaken UGC funded projects and delivered expert sessions on research methods and data analysis. He serves as a lifetime member in several professional bodies and also plays an active role in the academic and administrative initiatives at his institution. Dr. A.S. Nagalatha ma'am is also an assistant professor in the Department of Commerce at C.Kandasami College for Men, Chennai. She holds a PhD from the University of Madras along with MPhil, MCOM, and NET qualifications. With 19 years of teaching experience at the UG level and 18 years at PG level, she has guided 8 MPhil scholars and currently supervises 6 PhD candidates. Dr. A.S. Nagalatha ma'am has published 10 research articles in UGC Care and Scopus Index journals and has presented 20 papers at various conferences. Her work has earned multiple Best Paper awards in areas like family tourism, CSR, and women entrepreneurship. She actively engages in the academic forums from seminars and workshops to doctoral committees and event coordinations. I welcome you again, sir and ma'am, and I hope all of you would gain an intense knowledge on this topic.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. So before starting, let me thank from the bottom of my heart Dr. R. Shanti, University of Madras, for giving us this opportunity. I do thank Dr. C.D. Deepa, Associate Professor and Head, PG and Research Department of Commerce, Triple S Jain College, and of course my co-panelist, Dr. Naglatha Madam, for supporting me all through our programs, right? So let us move on. Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
So as the topic suggested, the identification of research problem. So very short PowerPoint, very few slides are there, but I hope there will be more to discuss, right? So let us start with this research problem. What is a research problem? A research problem can be defined as a gap or uncertainty in the decision maker's existing body of knowledge, which inhibits efficient decision making. So a very interesting definition, only one definition I have given, there are many given. So what is a research problem? As we discussed in earlier things also, that research problem, in order to identify it, there must be a gap, there must be a dilemma, there must be an uncertainty when it comes to decision maker's mind. So there are options available. There is, you want to identify a particular path. So that's where the concept of research problem comes. That contributes to the existing body of knowledge and helps in taking appropriate decisions. So we can say that based on this definition, certain characteristics are, there is a dilemma that needed to be addressed. Then there is a question that needed to be answered. There are certain assumptions, that needed to be challenged or investigated. Then you need to go from, convert this decision problem into meaningful research problem. So that is the starting point. Madam, anything from your end?
Yes, sir. We have absolutely said the real points. Now, only the research problem where the researcher is interested to know what could be the next step to solve it, or what is the problem is all about to be solved. So proper understanding of their own area where the problem is raised. So after that only you could make it a narrow down part and make it concise and made it into a formulation of the idea what we have chosen as a problem. So this could be rightly said by sir. So it is a dilemma whether this particular problem can be proceeded for research, or all the problems cannot be addressed. There are some problems that could be our control based on our interest or based on ability of the study. We'll be choosing always. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now we'll move on to the next one. So what is this transformation from decision problem to research problem? So 3 examples I have given over here. For example, what could be? See, as I said, research problem is all about practical application, practical thing. So, for example, in social science or in management research, a manager needs to take a decision. So there will be a problem, there will be a dilemma, how to convert that problem into research problem. For example, first thing I have given. So a manager may face this question: what should be done to increase the customer base of organic products in the domestic market? Sorry, I've written domestic market. So what should be done to increase the customer base of organic products in the domestic market? Now, so here his emphasis is on customer base of organic products. Now, when as a researcher, how we can transform this decision problem could be, what is the awareness and purchase of health conscious consumers for organic products? So here we are identifying our objectives in a much better way, and this is much more doable. Decision problem can be vague or, as I said, basic in nature, but when we transform it into a research problem, it should tell us the parameters of our study. So for example, when a researcher takes up the same problem, he will look at it in this way, that what is the awareness and purchase intention of a set of consumers, maybe who are conscious about health vis-a-vis organic products. The second example could be how to reduce the turnover rates in BPO sector. So a manager may look at this problem, how to reduce, this is my problem. As a researcher, we can convert this decision problem into research problem, like what is the impact of shift duties on work exhaustion and turnover intentions of BPO employees. So we are identifying certain aspects, for example, shift duties, or they get exhausted, work exhaustion on turnover intentions, like that we can do vis-a-vis BPO employees. We can further refine it. We can do it with respect to Southern India, or with respect to Chennai or Bangalore, Hyderabad or something like that. So some tangible parameters needed to be identified. A raw management problem needed to be, that's how we can convert into a effective research problem. The third could be, for example, ICICI Bank. Whom should ICICI Bank choose as its next managing director? Whether Mr. ABC or Miss XYZ. So a manager may face this question. And how, suppose if we are doing a study, we can convert it. What has been the leadership initiatives and performance record of XYZ or ABC? So we will be looking at their leadership qualities. We will be looking at their performance, and then we will come to the conclusion. Or in a different angle, if we want to study, can a leading aggressive private sector bank accept women as its leader? So again, a leadership quality, because here one is a male, another one is a female. So again, there is a dilemma, there is a question, and we need to refine this particular, problem into effective research problem. Yeah, madam, over to you.
Yes, sir. As you said rightly, like the decision problem and the research problem have separated, because the decision problem will be have an impact in very least people, and it has been in the narrow point where it has been turned into a research problem where the investigating platform will be much better. For example, in every year there will be a fluctuation in onion and tomato prices. So as a decision problem, so like when will be likely to the prices could be higher of tomatoes and as well as the onion will be their decision problem. As a researcher, he will find out the impact and cost of the increase of tomato and as well as onion in a local market. So could be a research problem. What makes the reason that prices are likely to be increased? So it could be a research problem as of now. Normally, there will be a lot of, for example, decision-making problem, like the government is taking a lot of measure how to solve the solid waste items in the cities, how to reduce the solid waste items in the city. So it is a decision-making problem. As a research investigator, he should identify what are the modes and what are the methods and what are the policies that could help them in order to reduce the waste management. So it would be a better one in terms of research problem where he could take it as a part of his research. So decision problem, it will be have an impact on it as narrowed down till the research will go wider and see all the causes and effects and make it thorough study and give the results for this. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now researchers do get this confusion. Okay, wonderful. But how, from where will I get the research problem? Like, what is my source? Like most of the social science research or humanities research, we need to keep in mind 4 P's: people, problems, programs, and phenomena. We can easily get an idea with respect to the research problem when we see these 4 P's: people, problems, programs, and phenomena. People. People can be individuals, it can be organization, it can be certain group of people, it can be certain communities. So when we are studying individuals, we get some idea about the research problem that we can formulate. Certain organizations, we can identify. For example, when it comes to telecommunication, Airtel and Jio is ruling, whereas there are certain other telecommunication companies, they are unable to do it, even though they are in the same industry. What could be the reason? For example, tire manufacturing company, MRF, CEAT, and there are few others. Like what distinguishes one company when it comes to brand equity as vis-a-vis the other company? So it can be individuals you study, it can be a group, it can be certain organization or certain communities. That when you study these, that come under people. Problems do creep up in society or in when managing the companies. So when you when you observe certain problems, this can be a wonderful source of research, or this may give an idea about pursuing the research. It may be certain issues with the company. For example, as there could be higher turnover. So why this is so? Or there might be conflict. Recently, we saw that Samsung near in Chennai, they had that strike. So why? Why it has happened? What could be the reason? Like that, or how to solve it? Certain issues in a company. Certain situations. For example, transformation in a company when they are moving from one, what is a level to another level, or when there is a succession planning issues. For example, Tata recently had that particular issue when they hired, when they had somebody as their CEO or head of that Tata group, and then later on they changed it. So certain special situations, certain associations, certain needs of the people, population composition, and other things could be a source of problem. Certain programs, as just now Madam said, waste manage, for example, the government may come out with certain programs, Clean India Mission. Now, entrepreneurship, our government has came out with certain initiative, startup plan, Startup India, like that, Make in India concept. So how effective those programs are, about their contents, their policies, how they have structured it, what is the outcome? For example, Mudra loan scheme, it has been around 7 years, I think. So it could be a wonderful, study about what is the outcome when they came out with certain programs. What are its attributes, whether concerned people are happy, or what is their say in that, how the consumers feel, how the service providers feel. So when certain programs are initiated, that can be a wonderful source of study. Phenomena in the sense when something has happened, something unusual in the society. For example, COVID struck, we do not know. Recently, we had a terrorist attack and its impact on economy. We had almost war-like situation. So certain phenomena occurs in society, and what will be its cause? What could be the reason? How it affects a particular sector or industry or certain companies, relationship with certain factors like that. So whenever students are struggling with the problem, concentrate on 4P. You will get some idea about research problem. Look at or concentrate on people, look at certain problems, see certain programs and policies or certain phenomena around you. Definitely we get some idea about, how to go about or how to identify a research problem. Madam.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. As you rightly defined the 4 Ps, sir, like people, problem, program, and phenomenon. Here, as you said, the study of an individual. I want to add your point to more thing. Like when the red bus has come out, it is a problem of individual. Absolutely, because he finds struggle to reach his native with the proper bus facility. Then his own problem has come out as a solution. It's an individual problem where he was identified how this problem could be figured it out. So it is an individual problem, how he made it into the possibility of everybody can make use of it. How the solution is printed. And in case of organization, yes, absolutely. There are a lot of connection between people of changes in leadership and have a change in the market. So how far this organization impact have in terms of market? It is also an important thing. As you said, as a group and community, yes, it is also like see certain companies are bringing out a lot of policies for senior citizens. They come out with they check what is the problem faced by the senior citizens so that they could come the safety point of view, with the safety point of money, okay, everything financially, and say the point of medicines. So they will identify what is the problem that senior citizens are facing so that they could be protected. Like that, the group and the community will be addressed and chosen as a point of the problem, the chances of problem is addressed as a researcher. And you can say the problems, of course, issues, there's a lot of issues, absolutely. Like there are a lot of coaching centers are burning. Why? So what's the reason the coachings increase in the coaching centers? Why the increase in the fertility centers? Okay, so these and all, why the people are going for health conscious fitness. clubs. Okay, so these are all the issues which normally the people are facing. So they're trying to fix their solution for the problems. So these are all the different problems normally daily that we face. We see the people are encountering it. And program, absolutely, sir. It's a outcome of like whatever that you have given as an attributes or satisfaction or consumers provisions or whatever it is. So here we can say the programs or the products or a structure which is given to us. Normally, I want to take it as a discussion part. NEP, it is keep on changing. So it is a kind of, outcomes. Based on the outcome, they will keep on finding some problem and they're trying to fix it up. So this is comes under the terms of program. And phenomena, absolutely, sir is given a right example. Every day we, even time of corona, even time of, demonetization, there is a lot of phenomenon that we cannot predict. It is something uncertain. Still, we are trying to find the solution. We are trying to fix the problem and we're trying to understand the problem and bring the solution for the same. So these are all the area where you could see the problem may arise. And sometimes reading books academically, you will be given in your college or a school. So, for example, twins like Ram Lakshman. So they have come out with an wonderful items. If you can say, they have founded non-surgical hearing device for an individual who are hearing impartially. So these and all they have bring out as the part of their academic research, and that research are now changing the people's life and touching the people's life. They could be a normal person like others, but only making this device attached in their ear for hearing. It is non-surgical. Normally, if you want to hear and to talk, you have to undergo a surgery. But this device is easily help them in order to overcome their problem without doing surgery. So this is how some research and some problem may be given by the academic, and you will be finding out the solution for that. So this is another platform. Then sometimes even the sources will be triggered it from your own consulting, or maybe it will maybe a brainstorming method. So these and all the different way where you could see the problem, and the problem could be addressed and given you with clear understanding for expecting solution from the research. So this is an adding more point in this slides. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So, for example, recently we had in our MCOM project, one fellow did on, I think this service to female, free bus service or something like that to female. So I was wondering why he took this topic. But it was really wonderful when he came out with certain outcome. It was really eye-opening. For example, he said, sir, it is not just like the gender as well as the economy. It affects a wide-ranging things, apart from this. For example, he interviewed certain auto people who, run the share auto and all. So he said they got affected because of that. On the one side, it is giving benefit. On the other side, it may impact certain economy in a positive way, or could be, we do not know. So like that programs, when we see around, as madam said, phenomena, if you are really having that eye to look the problems are all around us. So we can really we can identify the research problem. Yeah. Coming to the next one. So what are all the considerations in selecting research problems? The first one, obviously, the interest. Interest of the researcher is of paramount importance. Why? Because he will be doing this study. Beyond a point, there should not be an aversion vis-a-vis the particular project or research work. In order to sustain his interest, the topic or the thing that he is selecting should be interest to him. Okay. I remember when I was doing my PhD, one of my colleagues did in special economic zone. So even though he was not happy, but he took it, and further he could not proceed further because it was not of his interest. So take a particular topic or an area or a problem which is of interest, because that is the starting point. That is the stepping stone. And I do not know, in India, generally we don't give much consideration, but in foreign country, you will be considered as an expert in that particular field, even if it is a small area. So while selecting the research problem, make sure it is interesting. Number two, the magnitude, the background, how much knowledge you are having, or how much work that has been done on that particular topic. We may like certain topic, but it may not have much depth. So then there is no point in taking that particular topic. So there must be sufficient background when it comes to selecting a particular topic. Then measurement of concept. It means there must be clarity. You cannot select an abstract, what is a topic or a problem, where it is difficult to, proceed further. Things are hazy and you are unable to, define the concepts properly. So unless otherwise you are clear. So it starts with interest, then go into the background, then see whether you are able to measure the concepts in an effective way. You are able to identify the indicators properly. For example, performance appraisal we see of a certain company. Now, performance in what sense? Is it a financial performance you're talking about, or what kind of performance? Performance is a general term, right? So like that, whether you will be able to measure the particular, indicators that you have identified. Then level of expertise. What is your level of expertise? Are you comfortable? For example, certain people are not comfortable with qualitative study. Certain people, and for example, if you select a particular topic that requires a qualitative work, you may struggle. Certain people are not good at numbers. So when they take a topic vis-a-vis finance or stock exchange or portfolio management, like that, they again struggle when it comes to all the calculation part and all. So what is your level of expertise? And of course, all will not be expert. We should not be hesitant to take help or take a course in the particular thing. For example, how to do qualitative research. This itself is a very wonderful area. Those who are not good in that, how to enter into the field and collect the data, interview method, group discussion. How do you conduct group discussion? How do you make them, sit when you are talking? What should be the number of people you should discuss when you are talking about group discussion? What should be your language? What should be your outfit? For example, when you are going into a rural area, you go with a jeans and t-shirt and all those things. People may be hesitant to interact with you. So when you are with them, your outfit, or you should enter in that area with that manner. You cannot have 20 people and discuss a particular problem. When you are discussing in a group discussion, you are collecting the information. Maximum 5, 7, and then you can have a discussion. So like that, your expertise in the particular field matters. Or even if you're not expert, all of us are not expert in the field, we should try to acquire that particular expertise, right? Then relevance. So what is the contribution? I remember Amarchand sir came in our first thing, and he said, suppose you are asking about a brand of an automobile, for example, Maruti or something. Why do you give the questionnaire and ask the people and collect the data? Go and talk to the particular dealer. He will tell you in 1 minute. I remember he said like that. So what is your contribution? No point in reinventing the wheel. What is your something new, even if a small area you are contributing, what is new that you are bringing to the table, right? So how relevant your work is. No point in doing again and again the same thing in a different way. Again, a very interesting thing, when they talk about the research gap, they say that this work is not done in India. That's why it is great for, I'm doing this. This may not be. What is a new angle that you are adding to a particular problem? So relevance should be there when you are identifying a research problem. Then, of course, availability of data. Let us accept we have problems and we may not have data. So we cannot enter into an area where there is no data. For example, COVID. We identified certain vaccines and all, but it was based on certain small data. Still, the work is in progress. We do not know how many variants are there in COVID, and what is there, that vaccine, how effective, we can further improve it. So with availability of data, you can further refine it. If the data is not effective, or even the source of data is not, authentic, there could be an issue. So even availability of data is very important when we are discussing about the research problem. Then, of course, ethical issues, right? So ethical issues, of course, it deals with respondents. When you are doing certain experiments, even in commerce, we can do experiments. One should be very careful. You should not disclose about the privacy of the people. We need to take care of the culture, the local culture. We cannot, hurt their feelings. So even ethical issues should be taken into consideration. So in a nutshell, when we are talking about research problem, it should be of interest. The background it should have enough depth. Indicators or measurement should be effective. You should develop some expertise. It should be relevant, contribute to the existing body of knowledge. Data should be robust and authentic. And of course, we should take care of ethical issues. I remember in foreign countries and all, when they do PhD, see, I think in India, it is only for science people that have ethical committee under. I remember in foreign, one of my students submitted the work. So there I saw the external person said, have you taken from the ethical committee permission? So I was wondering, ethical committee, then later on I interacted with him and I came to know that he said, no, sir, we are having research advisory committee. So such emphasis is given to the ethical issues, right? Your take, madam.
Yes, sir. Sir, you have covered almost all the points. Nothing is left in my area. Sir, here he said like interest, magnitude and measurement, level of expertise and relevance. So here we say relevance, there is a problem. Some people think that for example, if I'm a commerce student, I have to do the research only in commerce based domain. Okay. So if I do some sort of cross discipline, it cannot be accepted academically when it was awarded, but it can be. It can be chosen as a social problem, and you can address for any sort of research funding or aided category. So this, I think, like very important, like it must be your own domain. If you're going, it must be related to your own domain.
Yeah, but nowadays there is, hello, yeah, voice is breaking, madam.
Sir, my voice is interrupting, sir.
Yeah, now fine, madam. In between there was a break. Sorry. Yeah, continue, madam. Sorry. Continue.
Yeah. So like it must be in our own doing MCOM projects. Simply, she was doing an MCOM project. She was investigating like enhancement of domestic labors in household work. So when my professor asked how far this is related to commerce, how far this topic can connect it to the commerce. See, she's really have a good thought, and she started saying here the enhancement, whatever that I say in terms of financial. How do they financially managing their work in spite of being a domestic workers? So certain topics, when it is not part of, for example, when it's about like female sanitation. Okay, so the research towards the female sanitation, which is awarded by government scheme policies. Okay, so this absolutely not part of commerce. So here, that use certain research which is not directly connected to the commerce, but anyhow indirectly it contribute to the economic. Is that can we choose as a problem of my study?
Yeah, madam, like it goes like that. Initially we were talking about specialization some 30 years back in a particular area. Then slowly we moved to interdisciplinary research. Then we moved to multidisciplinary research. Now I think the talk of the town is transdisciplinary research. So, okay, things are, see, nothing wrong. My take, I do not know, my take is first let us become expert in our field. Then we can go to the next. For example, then we can check in other field what is the relationship. So the problem is sometimes we are overlooking our domain and then we are moving in the other domain. So when there is no proper relationship, when we are unable to find a kind of cohesion between our field and the other field, then the issue comes. For example, I'll give my own take. Recently, I collaborated with one chemistry guy. So you may wonder like why chemistry? he was doing a study on this cough syrup, like some chemical composition and branding and all of cough syrup. So his objective was, like, when people are selecting a cough syrup or when the doctor are prescribing the cough syrup, like, what is, how the people or consumers, their mindset is. So we collaborated. So his work was relating to chemistry and composition and chemical and all, and I helped him in branding and how people consumer behavior and in this way. So, like, there is nothing wrong in collaborating, but we should know our boundaries clearly. Being a commerce, again, I remember Amarchand sir once said that commerce is all about accounts, tax, economy. So that element should be there. Then only you're a commerce student. I remember once I attended in Annamalai University one program where one sir said that he came across one thesis on self-help group in economics. So, and he also came across one thesis on self-help group in commerce. So he asked, I think he's retired now in Annamalai University, that economics department. He said how your thesis self-help group is different from the commerce. So we must have our own, that signature should be there. The commerce, that's what I feel. Otherwise, no point. We are overlapping between management, economics, commerce. Even in economics, I saw one thesis on telecommunication industry, performance appraisal of telecommunication. That's what it came. Amarchand sir's thought came to my mind when I saw that thesis. If the same thesis, if we change the name from economics to commerce, will it make any difference? PhD in commerce, PhD in economics. It doesn't. So there must be that signature, that style should be there. Commerce, we should look at in a commercial, that point of view. That's my take, madam.
Okay, sir. Convincing. Sir, and I have another question. When you say ethical issue, so when ethical issue, it comes on when you're not enclosing the details of your respondent. When certain things, we can say study, it's about like from the individual detail, they will completely present the research result. So the problem of an individual could be explained there and should be given data over there. So how it could be, how it cannot be an ethical issue by the time.
Yeah. Ethical, for example, madam, there are many nuances, many aspects. For example, we may be tracked, as I said earlier. We should be informed. If they are collecting data from a consumer, it should be informed properly to them. Only if you say, maybe it may be harmless information that you are collecting, it may not harm a consumer. But when we are collecting the data, it should be done in an ethical way, means we need to inform them that we are doing this particular thing. Are you willing to participate? Whether it is hurting them or in a negative sense, it is, share, it is, that is immaterial. But we need to expressly tell them that this is what we are doing. So, and one more thing, when we are doing the data, we need to disclose all the information. When we are collecting, for example, where, or even sometimes I know, like, when we are contributing to good journals and all, even they will ask the data, individual data. Like many journals I came across, I do not know, I heard that sometimes even they will ask, yeah, send your data sheet, that Excel or SPSS sheet from where you have done the analysis. So we should be ethical enough, straight, even if we need to get the permission of the concerned person, and even their private information need not be shared. That is all about ethics. In our commerce, of course, science, it is much more. When you are doing psychology, research in psychology, or when you are doing in medicine or biosciences and all, that is an extreme level. But in our level, we can be, consciously, we can do our activity or while collecting the data. Yeah, madam.
Yes, sir. So while fixing the problem, we have to be very conscious. See, if certain problem will be beyond our control, where it cannot be addressed. For example, like women's safety. So when there is a lot of applications are there to save the ladies in terms of emergency, still there is not proper reach. Not you say, it's a problem if you take in that way, sir. So problem here, the availability of data. It is not easy as much as we will get. So if you do certain research, the data availability, it is stopping us to choose the problem. What about your opinion in this?
Yeah, madam, that's what. If data, even the problem can be wonderful. Research problem can be great. You have identified a great problem. But if sufficient authentic data, it may raise the question mark, it may raise question mark about the results. Of course, in the beginning, we can do, if no data is available, a qualitative kind of thing we can do at the beginning stage, but beyond a point, it may raise questions about the authenticity of the results. So that is very important, source of data and availability of data.
Yes, sir. We'll
Yeah.
move to the next slide, sir.
Yeah. So we have come almost to the last slide. What are the steps in formulating the research problems? First one, identify a broad field or subject area of interest. So here I have given an example. For example, in social work research, I saw this one relating to social work research. Domestic violence. For example, you have selected a broad area in social work, domestic violence. So identify a broad area. Of course, you'll be doing a literature review, all those things, previous studies that has been done. Now, the second step is dissect the broad area into sub areas. So, suppose DV is your broad area, domestic violence, then how to check the sub areas? Okay, there might be domestic violence, check the profile of the families, you will get some input. Or check the profile of the victims, you will get some idea. Check the profile of the perpetrators of domestic violence, you may get some idea. You may study the reason why domestic violence take place. You may, or type of domestic violence or extent of domestic violence. What is its impact? Impact on children in the family, for example, and what is the help available vis-a-vis domestic violence? And if the help is available or NGOs are there, what is its effectiveness? So see, domestic violence is a broad area. Suppose a student in social science or social work has taken, so many sub areas are there. Even if you select one sub area, it could be wonderful if he comes out with certain, conclusion. For example, the families where the domestic violence take place. Profiling the family will give a very interesting information, in curtailing this domestic violence, profiling the family. Even victims, whether they are which, what is their profile of victims. Those who are doing, perpetrators, their profiling will tell you something, psychology or something about, why they are doing. What kind of domestic violence? Again, it could be a, wonderful area to study. What is the impact it has? Psychological impact, not only just physical impact. Children are there in the, family. What kind of mindset they will develop over a period of time when they see this domestic violence? What is the help available? NGO or these helpline numbers, is it efficient? Is it sufficient? Is it really helpful for them? Are they able to make any change in the life of those who are suffering from this? So like that, see, domestic violence is just people think one particular area. So if you really want to do the research, like this, we can identify the sub areas. So for any broad area, identify a broad area, and then we can identify like that certain sub areas, and sky is the limit. We get a very good insight, when you are touching all these domains of a broad field. Then the next one is selecting what is the most, interest for you. For example, we saw in DV domestic violence, so many dimensions are there. Either we can select any one particular dimension or we can select 2 or 3 dimension. How to select that? Where you are really passionate enough, where you think you will be able to define the parameters properly, where you think it will be of really help to those people. So like that, you can identify. So it is not when you are studying domestic violence that only study this. As I said, the last point, if you see, what is the help available to the victims, those who are suffering from this? This could be a wonderful study, a social research, where what the help they get. Suppose they want to contact somebody, where do they get the help? Is it really available? NGOs, government, police, what is available? So like that, where you are passionate, you can select one sub area or a number of sub areas as I said, where data is, you can get the data, where you can really make a difference. Fourth step is raise a research question. Now you need to convert this into a research question, research problem into a research question. So we need to raise, is it really available? Is the help available in this way? Convert that research question into an objective, effective, feasible objective. What is the difference between an objective and a question or a problem? It is action oriented. For example, convert that particular research statement into a question. For example, to find out, to determine, to ascertain, to examine, like that, develop into a quantitative, measurable statement. So that is how it goes. And finally, assess your objectives. Are they really feasible? Again, as what we were discussing, do you have enough time? Do you have enough financial backing? Do you have enough human? For example, when you're doing a qualitative study, you cannot do alone. You need to have a team of 2-3 people, where one will be interviewing, one will be, when you are going alone single-handedly, sometimes it is difficult. So what is the financial backing you are having? How much human resources you are having? How much technical knowledge you are having? How many gadgets you are having? For example, if you are recording the interviews and all those things, is it really feasible? It is wonderful to do. Again, suppose you are studying in domestic violence, how will you identify? And how will you talk to those people? Anyway, you have to enter into their field, family. Will you be able to get the data? So like that, assess your objective. Objective may be very fancy. It may sound very, great, but is it really feasible? Like that, that's how you refine your research problem over the time period. Okay. Yeah, madam.
Yes, sir. I want to add one more case study in this regard, sir.
Hmm.
There's a lady is called Miss Jenny Chen. She's the CEO of Embrace company. When she was doing her college in Stanford, she has given a project of doing a mortality. So like actually it's a broad area. As you said, identifying the broad field. So the broad field which is given to her, it's about like mortality. So she has chosen the mortality happens of the prematured infant. So her sub-classified she has made very specifically why the premature child is the mortality rate is getting increased. Okay, it's a subclass. So she was keenly studying about. There will be a lot of reason for the problem of mortality rate, but she has chosen her domain only for the infant, and that too premature child. Okay, so and then she was identifying what is the problem behind the situation. So she have found out there is a three problem. Number one is malnutrition. Number two, it's about like the medication facility which is given to them. It is not easy to access and it is costly. And okay, third one is about like electricity which is connected to this costly. I'll tell you how it is. Because the premature child should be kept in incubator. Okay, so the malnutrition, in aspect of overcoming the malnutrition, even certain children are still not able to survive. Why? Because of this incubator facility, it is not available. So she has chosen, this is her cup of tea, her research. So she was identifying why these incubators are much costlier and not affordable to all the ladies who are in the urban and as well as the rural. Okay, so she found out this is a problem. So she have found out whether this incubator can be concised and should be given to all the people in the least cost. It is absolutely speaks about the feasibility and absolutely speaks about her time duration and the testing. Whether it is not just like that. So you go to the mother and you ask the children for an infant to check her ability in the newly found incubator mission or newly found incubator thing. It is also an ethical issue. It is also come to an ethical issue. So these are the different things that she has faced. These are the different problems she encountered. But in spite of that, she have found out embrace infant warmer. It is absolutely replacing the incubator machine, which is costly in all the hospital. In spite of even you don't have a current facility, electricity facility, this baby warmer could help you out to save the baby from this premature death. Okay, so this is how your problem must be identified, the broad area, then narrow down it, make specify that what you could address, identify what are the causes and impact are connected to the problem, so that after understanding that only you can able to make an objective and see the feasibility, then you work on and show the result. So this is what that Miss Mary Jenny Chen. Okay, she did it out of her research. That's what my points.
Yeah, wonderfully, very well. Thank you for validating. Very well said. Yeah, correct. That's how we move about. And finally, these are all my references. And again, I will tell you, journey of each individual is unique. We can only discuss the broad aspects. So when you enter into the field, the experiences will be totally different. And let me tell you, it's a wonderful experience when you enter into that research field. If you really enjoy the research, it will be a wonderful experience and you learn a lot, right? So this is, these are all the reference part. And I hope it has created some, kindled some, what is a interest when it comes to identifying a research problem, this presentation. Thank you. Any questions or anything?
All the organizer and especially my gurus, Ranganathan sir and my professor, Dr. R. Shanti ma'am, head of the department, University of Madras. And I thank every individual who are supporting this event, especially Dr. Vijay Narayanan sir. Those are giving a backbone towards this. And I thank all research scholars and faculties from Douglas Jain College for giving this opportunity to me. Thank you. And finally, my co-speaker, Haridayal Sharma sir, always ready with the points and is ready to share his enriched knowledge in the research at any time. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Thank you, Nagalatha. Well said.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am. It was a good session. Good
Yeah.
evening.
Good evening.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, sorry for the interruption, ma'am. Can we deliver the vote of thanks,
Yeah,
ma'am?
yes, please.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry for the interruption, ma'am. Now I request Ms. Sugapradayani from Sri Shankarlal Sundarbai Sashun Jain College, full-time research scholar, deliver the vote of thanks. Sugapradayani, over to you.
Program leader.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, your
Yes,
voice
am
is
I
not
audible
there.
now?
Yes.
Very good evening to one and all present here. Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. At the outset, it gives me an immense pleasure to propose this vote of thanks. I would like to thank our resource persons, Dr. Haridayal Sharma sir and Dr. A.G. Nagalatha ma'am for sharing valuable insights that will uplift our research knowledge. Your expertise and guidance have been invaluable to us. Thank you, sir, and thank you, ma'am. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to our program directors, Dr. Shanti ma'am, Professor and Head, Department of Commerce, University of Madras, and Dr. Vijay Narayanan sir, Department of Commerce, DG Vaishnava College, Chennai, the management of Sri Shankarlal Sundarbai Shashan Jain College for Women, Principal Dr. S. Batmavati ma'am, Vice Principal Dr. S. Rukmani ma'am, and to the organizing committee, Dr. C.K. Deepa ma'am, Associate Professor and Head, PG and Research Department of Commerce, Ms. Sheba, full-time research scholar. I appreciate the participation of professors, scholars, and students from our college and other colleges in this webinar. Feedback link have been posted in the chat box. Thank you all. Have a great day.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir, for the wonderful session.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Wonderful.
Thank you, sir.